Strobe, you mentioned Bill Antholis' book, Inside Out, which is, I think, spot on in terms of how India and China are headed. We do work in both India and China for the last 30 years or so or more. In fact, David Ogilvy went to India 50 years ago to start Ogilvy there. But this notion of the devolution, this stronger states, the rise of the states, is a very powerful thing. But it also undermines the notion of a nation as a brand. Because if you think about, brand USA, there is such a thing, by the way, brand USA, it often becomes an aggregation of many states and resorts rather than just a country. But off the top of your head, there are many things that you would think of that make you feel America. You could convey that often through Hollywood. India has done that, could do that through two things I've discovered in the last 21 years. If you don't understand cricket and you don't understand Bollywood, you don't get India. It is so powerful, and that's not meant to be dismissive. These are very powerful things. They're metaphors in everything that India does. So pulling these notions together, you've seen recently a wave of foreign direct investments start to come in, portfolio investments starting to come back into the stock markets. The last couple of days have been rough, but there's some optimism about change. Why? What change would foreign investors hope to see in this combination of a devolution into states and perhaps a change in government? A couple of things. They're connected. One, foreign investors see Gujarat as a state as very business friendly. Very business friendly. They see their chief minister, therefore, by extrapolation, as business friendly. And this is, of course, Narendra Modi, who is hoping to be the next prime minister of India. The problem, again, for branding is you can't knit these together in India, so I would suggest that there's a notion that worked for tourism and still will work for tourism of an incredible India as a brand to foreigners, cannot work for foreign direct investment. It has to be state by state by state, as its own personality, as its own brand. And I think there what you're going to find are real league tables that they've already developed in India, league tables of winners and losers. Now it sounds harsh, sounds hugely, cruelly capitalistic, but that's what's happening in India now. Just like cricket is a league table of winners and losers state by state. I think if you're going to, the foreign direct investment has never been what it could have been in India, compared to China, for example. And India itself will point to its own brand as being the world's largest democracy, which it is, and younger than China, which it is. The demographics are radically different from China, but they're also radically different in that 2/3 of India is agrarian, and China urbanized very rapidly, and through urbanization forced education, and has a very different manufacturing base for its economy that India does not have. And so if you're a foreign investor looking to build a giant business in India, what do you need? What do you not get? The single biggest frustration and fear of foreign investors is inconsistency. They can live with a bad consistency, but they just need a consistency. And so they've seen reversals of reversals of reversals. I think if you were to chart through as a foreign investor or business person, you lose track of the number of times policies have been reversed at a federal level, but not necessarily at a state level. And so I think you're going to see foreign investors sort of give up on the notion of an India, incredible India, or a credible India, but go state by state, picking winners and losers, which is going to make it a really interesting playing field over the next 10 years.